Right. So get ready because today we are going deep, deep into titration chemistry.
Ooh, titration chemistry.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
So whether you're, studying for something like the RB pharmacist exam or you just love chemistry, this is going to be a good one for you.
Yeah, I think titration is one of those things, it impacts our lives every day and people don't even realize it.
Right.
From, the medication dosages to environmental health, even think about crime scenes.
Yeah.
Titration is often used kind of behind the scenes, but it's really important.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
So, okay, what is it?
Oh.
I know we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. So, okay.
But just so we're all on the same page.
Sure.
What is titration?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
You're trying to bake cookies.
Okay.
And you want to recreate your grandma's famous recipe, but you lost the measurements.
Oh.
Right. So what do? You start adding ingredients carefully, right?
Right. Little by little.
Little by little, tasting as you go. Yeah.
Until you get that perfect flavor.
Okay. I like where this is going.
So that's kind of like titration.
Okay.
We use a solution of known concentration, like you're measuring spoons for the cookie dough, to figure out the concentration of an unknown solution.
I see. It's like a chemical detective game.
It is.
Yeah.
Where we're carefully adding clues until we figure out that concentration of the unknown.
I like that.
We call the known solution the titrant, and the mystery solution we're analyzing is the analyte.
Okay.
And just like with your cookies, we need a way to know when we've added just the right amount.
That makes sense. So in baking, it's like the taste test, but in chemistry, what is it? How do you know?
Well, we use things called indicators.
Okay.
These are substances that change color
Okay.
or show some other visible sign when the reaction is complete.
Oh, cool.
So it's like our signal saying, hey, you've reached the end point.
Okay.
You did it.
I like it. So it's like a built-in alert system for the experiment.
Exactly.
Okay, so I know there are different types of titrations. Yes.
What are the main types?
So there are 4 main types.
Okay.
Acid-base.
Okay.
Redox.
Okay.
Complexometric, and precipitation titrations.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, and we'll go through each of those, but let's start with acid-base.
Okay.
Because they're probably the most familiar.
Okay.
You remember those vinegar and baking soda volcanoes?
Of course. Who doesn't love a good volcano?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's an acid-base reaction.
Wow, so cool.
Yeah. But in the lab, we might use, a strong acid like hydrochloric acid or HCl
Okay.
with a strong base like sodium hydroxide or NaOH.
Oh, okay.
And we would use an indicator to tell us when we've reached that endpoint.
Okay, so the indicator is what tells us we've reached the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are lots of different indicators, but a common one is phenolphthalein.
Phenolphthalein, okay.
Yeah, it's colorless in acid,
Okay.
but it turns bright pink in base.
Oh, wow.
So as you add the sodium hydroxide to the hydrochloric acid, it gradually changes from colorless to pink.
I see, letting you know when it's done.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about acid-base. We talked about phenolphthalein.
Mm-hmm.
What about these other types of titrations?
So the other types, they each involve a different type of chemical reaction.
Okay.
And we have to carefully select the indicator and the titrant
Right.
to match. So redox titrations.
Okay.
They're all about the transfer of electrons.
Electrons.
Yeah, think about it like a game of chemical hot potato.
Ooh, I like that analogy.
Right.
Yeah.
So a classic example is using potassium permanganate.
Potassium permanganate.
Yeah, as both the titrant and the indicator.
Wait, so the titrant and the indicator are the same thing?
It is.
Okay.
So potassium permanganate has this intense purple color,
Okay.
but as it reacts and gains electrons,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes colorless.
Oh, wow.
So you actually watch as the solution goes from purple to clear.
So it's like it's a
Yes.
chameleon.
That's
It changes color
Exactly.
based on the reaction.
Exactly.
That's so cool. And that's just one example. In complexometric titrations,
Mm-hmm.
we're focused on the formation of what's called a complex
Okay.
between the analyte and the titrant.
So instead of swapping electrons like in redox,
Right.
it's like they're joining up.
They're forming a partnership, yeah.
Okay, exactly.
And then precipitation titrations.
Right. So in precipitation titrations,
Yeah.
the reaction forms a solid that falls out of solution.
So it's like a chemical snowstorm
Yes,
in the beaker.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So each of these types has its own reaction and then its own way of signaling
Mm-hmm.
that it's finished.
Exactly.
Okay, this is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get the big picture here, but how do you choose the right indicator?
What?
and make sure you're getting accurate results. I feel like that's pretty important,
Oh, it is.
especially if we're talking about medications and things.
Especially in pharmaceuticals. Yeah, choosing the correct indicator is critical.
Yeah.
And that's where understanding the chemistry of the reaction
Really comes into play.
right. I want to know more about, the actual
Yeah.
tools and techniques.
Okay, well, let's talk about titration curves.
Okay.
Remember those from
Yeah.
earlier?
Mhm.
They're really important.
Yep.
They give us a visual record of what's happening.
So it's like a play-by-play
It
of the reaction as it's happening.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they can tell us a lot about the reaction itself.
Okay. Like what?
Well, for instance, the
Mhm.
steepness of the curve
Okay.
can tell us about the strength of the acid or base involved.
Oh, interesting. So it's like the curve itself has a
Yeah,
fingerprint.
it does.
Is that reaction?
Like a fingerprint.
Okay.
Yeah, a strong acid and strong base will have a really sharp,
Okay.
steep curve, whereas a weak acid and weak base will have a more gradual curve.
I see.
So it's like the difference between a cliff and a gentle hill.
Okay, so we're not just seeing a change in color or something. We're
Right.
seeing the strength of the interaction
Exactly.
in the shape.
You got it.
That's cool.
And titration curves can tell us even more,
Oh, like what?
like the pKi
Okay.
or pKb of a weak acid or base,
Okay.
which basically tells us how easily they donate or accept a proton.
So it's like their personality.
Yeah, like how generous they are.
How much they want to give up that proton.
Exactly. Some are very giving and some are a little stingy.
Yeah.
And that helps us predict how they'll react with other things.
Interesting. It's like we're learning to read their language through these curves.
You are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about acid base, but can you use these curves for the other types too?
Yes.
The redox and
Absolutely.
complexometric and all that?
It's the same idea. You're tracking the change in the solution.
Okay.
It's just you might be measuring something else besides pH.
Oh, okay. So for redox, we're looking at the voltage.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, okay. And then for precipitation,
We're looking for that solid.
for the solid forming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they all have their own unique curve.
Cool.
Yeah. That reflects what's happening in the beaker.
Now I want to grab a graph paper
I know. It's fun.
and plot these out.
It is.
It's like a little.
They each tell a story.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
We've been talking about pharmacy
Mm-hmm.
a lot, like making sure we're getting accurate dosages.
Right?
What are some other areas where titration is important? I feel like this has so many applications.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Think about environmental monitoring,
Okay.
measuring pollutants.
Right, like in the water or the soil.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So titration is helping us protect our planet too.
I like that there.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
It's also used in the food industry.
Oh, all right.
Think about making sure that, vinegar or fruit juice
Mm-hmm.
has just the right acidity
Oh, interesting.
for flavor and preservation.
Okay, so it's keeping our food safe and delicious.
Exactly.
Cool. What else?
It's even used in forensic science.
No way.
Yeah, like determining blood alcohol content.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They actually titrate a blood sample
Mm-hmm.
to figure out how much alcohol is there.
So it's like this hidden tool that's everywhere.
It is, yeah.
Solving crimes, making sure we're healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
It's really important.
It is, but it's got to have some limitations, right?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
It can be sensitive to contamination.
Okay, so just like with the cookies, we need to make sure the
Exactly.
ingredients are pure.
Right.
Yeah.
And some reactions are slow, so it can be time consuming.
Yeah. Okay.
And sometimes finding the perfect indicator is tricky.
So it sounds like it takes a skilled chemist
It does.
to do all this correctly.
It really does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we've learned a lot about titration.
We have.
It's not just some textbook thing. It's
real.
real world and important.
It is.
Yeah.
It really highlights, I think, the beauty of chemistry,
Yeah.
how these basic ideas can be used to solve problems.
Yeah, it's really cool. Okay, so now I kind of want to see this in action.
Okay.
Can we look at some specific examples of how it's used?
Real world applications.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so imagine you're working in a pharmaceutical lab
Okay,
and you need to make sure a new batch of medication is safe.
got it.
How would you use titration to do that?
Well, I guess the first step would be choosing the right type of titration, right?
Right.
So if it's like an antibiotic,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm guessing is probably a weak acid or a weak base,
Probably. Yeah.
Then we'd need to do an acid-base titration.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we'd need an indicator that changes color around the right pH.
Right. It would have to make sure everything's clean.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, super important.
No contamination.
Absolutely. Precision is key in pharmaceuticals.
Yeah. Okay. And then what?
Okay, so then we would carefully add a titrant,
Okay.
maybe a strong base
Mm-hmm.
to the antibiotic solution,
Okay.
and we'd watch the pH.
Okay. So as we get closer to that equivalence point,
Yeah, you'll see a rapid change in pH.
right, that tells us we're there.
Exactly.
And then we can calculate the concentration.
Right, using the volume of titrant we added.
Okay. So it's like we're solving a chemical equation.
We are.
And it tells us exactly how much is in there.
Exactly. And that makes sure patients get the right dose.
Wow. So this is really important stuff.
It is, yeah.
So connecting the chemistry to people's health.
Exactly.
Well, thanks for taking us on this deep dive.
It's been my pleasure.
It was really cool. And to everyone listening,
Yeah.
thanks for joining us.
Keep exploring.
Keep learning, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.